Northern Ireland, a region shaped by centuries of conflict, has a history deeply intertwined with British rule and Irish resistance. In 1921, it was partitioned from the rest of Ireland to create a separate entity with a Protestant unionist majority remaining part of the United Kingdom. This division left a Catholic nationalist minority marginalized and set the stage for decades of tension and inequality. The conflict, known as the Troubles, erupted in the late 1960s, plunging the region into a violent struggle that claimed thousands of lives over 3 decades. The signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998 brought an end to the bloodshed, establishing a power-sharing government and laying the groundwork for reconciliation. Since then, Northern Ireland has enjoyed relative stability, but Protestant and Catholics, Unionists and Republicans still remain divided. Is the region truly moving forward, or does the shadow of its past still hold it back? Even though there has been relative peace for over 25 years, segregated working-class Unionist and Republican areas in cities like Belfast continue to experience violence, often leading to clashes with the police.
We're going to West Belfast, one of the most segregated parts of the city, to meet with a member of the Unionist community.
In West Belfast, we are isolated, we are separated, and we are divided in every walk of life. It's 7.3 kilometres of a peace line. Along the peace line, we incorporate 6 sections of heavy steel fortified gates. The gates tonight and every night at 7 p.m. they will slam shut. They will remain shut until 6 a.m. the following morning before they reopen. So we're 2 communities side to side. We're parallel with each other. We have a massive wall that separates, making sure that you're locked into one community and you're locked into the other.
There's no integration, guys, in any way, shape or form.
We don't live together, we don't live together, we don't drink together, work together, we don't socialise with each other. We do have our own shops, we have our own pubs. When we haven't got peace, we haven't got reconciliation, I'm going to share a future together. Sure, we're hungry. There's never going to be peace in Ireland.
The most precious possession you have is your eternal soul. Your eternal soul can be saved or can be lost. After death, there is a day of accountability. When everything that you've ever said or seen or done, that friend is going to be judged, and Jesus wants to save you.
Okay, so right now we're going to meet up with an organization who are tearing the walls down by talking to both communities.
North Belfast has always been described like a patchwork quilt. Small areas which adjoin each other, which is where, when there was conflict, you had interfaces, because 2 communities were living across the road from each other. And at the start, that meant there was a necessity for walls and gates to go up. They were erected simply because there was serious civil conflict in the late 1960s, early 1970s. And they were brought, the British Army just erected. They started off as barbed wire rows, they then became corrugated iron fences, and in many of them took a much more permanent appearance. We found that there was a very low level of any contact or interaction between the residents on one side of a gate or a peace wall and those on the other side. They might only have been separated by 50 metres, 100 metres, but they had virtually no contact with each other. So it was sort of put to our organisation as a challenge to see could we somehow find a way of bringing people together and just seeing was there an appetite for maybe to reopen a gate or to take down a wall or possibly just to re-image it, to tidy it up or to reduce it. Every area, it's different dynamics. We would be the people who would liaise with the people in the communities we live in, communities we work in, the communities we're from. And so we would talk to residents, and if we detected a mood for possible change, then a process began. Processes which can take years.
To get a better understanding of the division between the 2 communities, Sean takes us along in his car to show the walls dividing the citizens of North Belfast to this day.
So the street in front of us, as you'll see, the fence runs right up to the very top. It sort of starts back a wee bit, and you can see the sort of grills on top of it. This would be in the Catholic or nationalist side. I'll actually drive down and show you from the other side as well. We're now in the unionist community, and so this is the same fence. So again, taking it down is not really an option because it's the end of people's gardens. Things could be done. It could be lowered. It could be redesigned. So as you can see, that used to be the road straight through, not end. So it's called the Berwick Road. And on the other side of the fence, there's another road. The continuation of that is on the other side of the fence.
Sean takes us to a spot where his organization successfully replaced a peace wall with a gate.
Yeah, so you've seen it before and after.
So what is the new one that was opened?
That's it there. So that's to say
Yeah.
that would have been the old the front. Stood there. Time it took years of negotiation with that.
Even though people are now able to pass to the other side, there are still a lot of cameras and barbed wire around. At night, the gate still closes to avoid any violence between the two communities. We travel to Derry, closer to the border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. On our way there, we stumble upon a Republican rally.
The Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through their open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army.
The acceptance of the monarchy. Comrades, Republicans are anti-monarchy, anti-imperialist, and we will never accept the partition of our country.
Derry has been a key stronghold of the Republican struggle, symbolizing resistance to Unionist dominance and the struggle for Irish reunification.
This is the Bog side, a part of Derry, where there are still a lot of nationalists, a lot of IRA sympathizers, as you can see.
In 1972, Derry became a symbol of nationalist resistance in the struggle for civil rights.
You would have to go far in Derry to find a house that doesn't have a link to Bloody Sunday.
I'll tell you this, and I don't tell this to many people. I was in hell. Up until that, it was a bit of fun for us. I was 27 and playing football and boxing, and I was as fit as a fiddle. There were nobody going to catch me. Nobody going to catch me. But on Bloody Sunday, they went round a different way. And when we come running up our street, they were already in. It was the first time they ever ambushed us, you know. They never done that before. When we ran out to a big square, they were already in, shooting. I was with the first boy shot dead, and he was only an 18-year-old, and one of the nicest young boys you could ever meet. Him and I were in amateur boxing club together, you know, and we were running. And I could see him lying down with his mouth down. And at that stage, I thought he could hit me a rubber bullet. I didn't realise what was going on. When I turned him round, he was lying shot through the chest. Then you realised what was happening. No, that was awful. Paratroopers shooting at anything that moved. And I had a full cousin, and he was taking photographs. He was shot through the chest, killed. That's when the Provisional IRA was born. They says, no more civil rights marches. We're going to have a go.
Jesus is not going to be able to just talk these colonialists out of existence. It needs force. It needs action.
On the old city walls of Derry, 500 meters from where Bloody Sunday happened, a young Catholic theater group is performing the Passion Play.
The challenge for us is to try and enable people to see that actually those two differences are not actually that different, you know.
With the play, Pastor Robert wants to connect the story of Jesus to the history of violence between Republicans and Unionists.
A story set in first century Palestine is not actually that much at a distance in terms of the themes that are in it.
He should have been armed to defend them. Seriously, Judas, how many times are we going to go down this road about violence? You know that's not his way.
In the walls, one looks into the fountain, which is a predominantly Protestant area. One looks into Bogside, which is predominantly Catholic nationalist. We're trying to see the walls as a shared space for everyone, and maybe challenge them to think about how we engage with one another, and challenge some of the ominous senses too.
With hopeful projects like these, NGOs and church leaders are hoping to deal with Northern Ireland's history of deep division. A new generation is now striving for unity and a brighter future. Perhaps one day, true peace will finally be achieved.